Hello, I'm Christina with The Turned Leg. I love to salvage, repurpose, and create and help others to do the same. And it's no secret that I love to go thrifting while I'm on vacation. I also love to go thrifting in Ohio. Well, my most recent vacation and thrifting adventure brought me some surprises. You want to come along? This year we found ourselves in Lancaster, Ohio, which is southern central Ohio, about 4 hours from Detroit, where I'm located. And since we were there, we decided to check out the thrift stores. The first stop was the St. Vincent de Paul, and the minute we walked in, we were greeted by the owner, who told us all about the store and how much the store does for the local surrounding community. Because of the friendly owner, videos were a little bit challenging to get in the store, but I will show you what I found. Some great local sales. I always love when these are posted when you walk in. Although this store was small, it was packed, and I headed right to Home Goods, where I found these seashell girls. I love this kind of stuff, and they did say they were souvenirs of Florida. They were legit old. Did I buy them? Stay tuned to the end of the video to see what I came home with. I also checked out their fine arts section. And look what I found in fine art, this vintage decoupaged tray for $3.99. I liked it. If it was in better condition, it probably would have been coming home with me. So I continued to explore Home Goods, and I really didn't find too many vintage items. Many of the items there were new. Cute blender, but not at $12.99. Not a bad find for $24.99. So why is it every time you can't take the bigger pieces, that's all you find, right? I'm on a family road trip. I can't take those, but yet I found a bunch. It's just how it is, I guess. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, take a second, click that like button and subscribe. Also, if you click the bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. It really helps me to continue to grow my channel to help others to salvage, repurpose, and create. Thanks so much. The store also had a bunch of clothing, all sizes, and organized by color. The shop also had a back room that had seasonal items, also books, and kids' toys. Our next stop was the Salvation Army, and at least in Toledo, Ohio, the Salvation Armies are my absolute favorite stores, so I was really excited to check this one out. And then we walked inside, and this is not what you see, at least I don't usually see, in a Salvation Army. Something was a little off here. Now don't get me wrong, the displays were absolutely beautiful and eye-catching, but it looked much more like a posh store with posh prices than what I remembered the Salvation Army. Past the reading nook, there was an area that was large and warehouse and more like what I was used to seeing. But then there was this display of explosive TNT boxes. Each box was only $49.99. So I headed off to the furniture section, and they had a lot of beautiful pieces for beautifully large prices. So maybe I'd do better in housewares. Or maybe not. There were not very many items. They were very much spaced throughout, and most of the items here were new. My daughter found this collection of cat hooks for $2.99 that she thought was hysterical. Up next was the Good Neighbor thrift store, which is run by a local church. I will say I think this was my favorite store as far as old items and prices. But with thrift stores, things are changing all the time, so you just never know. 2 buildings make up this thrift store, so it is a quite large place to check out, and there are treasures if you hunt for them. The first store we walked into was kind of tiny. I was excited to see lots of vintage items. Unfortunately, these were $8 each, which would be about the same price I would be charging for them. So I continued my hunt. I did find a cute vintage planter at a good price, but he kind of looks sad to me. What do you think? Comment down below. And of course, there was lots of beautiful clear glass. This was the second building, and it had a lot more furniture, but it also had knickknacks and so much more throughout, with quite a few rooms that you could go in and out of. There was even a tub of different types of seeds. I have never seen this before in a thrift store. Have you? And vintage suitcases for $5 each. I love that there was an entire room of kids' items. There was a pretty cool chippy white trunk for only $30. They also had a media room and a section of fine art. Prices were really all over the place. The next step was Goodwill. I was really impressed how many resale shops this little town had. And I couldn't believe the sign. Well, of course the furniture would be 75% off today. I was on a family road trip. This store was quite large and a little bit more like what I was used to seeing for thrift stores. They had really nice displays. But of course I had to go to furniture first. And of course they had a sofa that was tufted for only $19. They also had this for $19.99 with an additional 75% off. And this. And even this. And then I saw this beautiful leg. This piece was the roughest of them all. All the parts were there, but it needed a little bit of love and some repairs. The prices here for furniture was absolutely amazing. I continued through the store and I found lots of new items or items still in boxes, like this patio heater, which was only $149.99, and a motorized pool floaty for only $79.99. I did find the souvenir plate, and I have total regret I didn't buy it as my own souvenir for the trip. Sometimes thrift stores are the best places to look for your own souvenirs. I was excited to find the turkey platter for $1.99, but unfortunately had a huge chip. The last store was the Ohio thrift store, and only the second Ohio thrift store I have ever been in. It does have a large selection of clothing, which we did not look at all because that's not what we're really into. It also has a lot of new items and home goods, and even some items that are still packaged in their original packaging. But prices were so high and vintage was hard to come by. In fact, the only thing I spotted that was a little bit old was this vintage suitcase. And when I saw the price, now this was a plastic suitcase, it is nothing fancy, I left. I left because there was no vintage, and the vintage that was there had crazy high prices, and frankly, it was the last stop after a long day. I just want to make it very clear, I'm not writing off all Ohio thrift stores. Things change all the time, and I'm sure they had great deals, but they just didn't have anything for me. Do you want to see what I brought back from Ohio? This little desk was the only piece of furniture that I brought back. At $8, it was a no-brainer. I like the look of this. It may not be old, but I really thought it was a good deal for $5. I also was able to find some books for only $1 each. I was very excited about the Gone with the Wind. I loved the color and style of these candlesticks, and $2 for the pair was a great deal. Since my last name is Cardinal, I couldn't pass this up, only 50 cents. I always pick up the flat-topped vintage suitcases for a good price, and this one was only $5. Were you a little surprised with what I came home with, or should I say didn't come home with? I mean, I could have loaded down my vehicle and maybe even kicked out my family with tons of furniture at really good prices, but that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for smaller items, and I was just not finding them. And sometimes that happens when you go thrifting. The good news is thrift stores change daily, their prices and their inventory. I could go back to all of these stores and find absolute gold. So I encourage you to keep looking. Get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create.